We've spent too much, we tax too much, we borrow too much, and we print too much. When a country spends way beyond its means, eventually it will destroy the currency, and we're in the midst of a currency crisis.
With presidential candidate Ron Paul, and boy, there's something that nobody else says. Nobody on Wall Street will say that, and it only makes common sense that we are destroying our own currency. One of the things that I think attracts me to libertarians is the idea of getting back to the gold standard and abolishing the IRS. Is it true? I believe I have read that you say if you don't pay your taxes, you are in the category of civil disobedience akin with Gandhi and Martin Luther King.
Well, I think it's practicing the same principle, yes, because the income tax, the way it's collected, is unconstitutional. And if you believe that and you practice civil disobedience, you have to suffer the consequences. I chose to try to change the law. I haven't chosen that method. But people who sincerely believe that it's unconstitutional be guilty until you prove yourself innocent and be your own, and you have to testify against yourself, I think they have a legitimate cause. And I think it's a libertarian principle to practice civil disobedience. It's nonviolent. So I think it's a good way of doing it.
How do you change the tax code? I mean, we've been saying, every American knows this doesn't work. I don't need a book this big to show me how to pay my taxes. When you've got former communist countries going to a flat tax and they're getting more money, how are you going to change this? How are you going to abolish the IRS or go to a flat tax, or what is your proposal?
Mine is to get rid of the IRS but not replace it with anything by cutting a lot of spending, because we lived without an income tax before 1913, so I'm not interested in the flat tax or the sales tax, you know, although anything would be better.
Yeah. Yeah, just what you're saying. I mean, you're speaking, I mean, you know, if we weren't both men, you know, I might French kiss you on the whole abolishing the IRS thing. You had me at hello. You did. No, you did. So you want to replace it with some sort of a sales tax?
No, nothing. I want to replace it with freedom. I want to replace it with freedom and less spending.
Okay, but wait a minute. Hang on.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. I mean, I love you. Don't get me wrong. How do we pay for the things we do have to pay for?
Well, you know, if you didn't have the income tax right now, you'd have the same amount of revenues you had 10 years ago. So that's not all that bad. And we didn't have an income tax before 1913. They used tariffs, and they use user fee types and different things like that. But
wouldn't you create the same?
The problem is spending.
Yeah, I agree with you. But wouldn't you create the same kind of situation if you had user fees? Because then you'd have these special interests that were just saying, oh, no, this one should be exempt and this one shouldn't.
Well, I guess so, but anything would be better than the income tax. But, you know, if we do have a user fee, which we abuse, have a user fee by paying a national gasoline tax. And that's supposed to take care of our highways, but they abuse that system, too. They don't spend it on the highways, and they use it for political boondoggles is what happens.
Back in a minute with Dr. Paul's controversial views on foreign policy, the CIA, FBI, the Patriot Act, and the war on drugs. He'll get more than 30 seconds to explain it all. Stick around.
It's our foreign policy that I object to. We used to be allies with Osama bin Laden. Now he's our enemy. We used to be allies with Saddam Hussein. Now he's our enemy. This on-again, off-again thing is what bothers me.
We are back with presidential candidate Ron Paul. He is with us for a full hour. If you watch my program quite often or listen to it, for the last year or so, I've been on a book that I told every American to read, The 5,000-Year Leap. It is the words of the Founding Fathers. If we don't find our way back to the Constitution soon, we are in real trouble. With that being said, we are facing things our Founding Fathers could have never, ever imagined. Even 727, I don't think they could have imagined at the time. I wanted to have Ron Paul on for a full hour because he's got some pretty controversial things to say on foreign policies, et cetera, et cetera. But when you state them in 20-second sound bites, you really, it looks ridiculous. It really does. So I want him to be able to have the time to expand on them. So, Dr. Paul, let's start here. I have a problem with us being in bed with dirtbags. I think Saudi Arabia is an evil country run by evil people, and I don't understand why we embrace the enemy of our enemy as our friend. I think in many ways we've taught them we don't stand for anything, so why not? However, how do we get out? If I understand it, your idea is just unplug from the Middle East.
Yeah,
how do we do that?
We just went in. We should just leave, but you know who it was that committed us to Saudi Arabia? It was FDR during World War II, because we wanted to secure the oil.
Right.
But because of that persistence, that was one of the greatest annoyances to Osama bin Laden, our troops in Saudi Arabia. That is what motivated them to really motivate enough people to commit suicide terrorism, and we have to understand that. I think that is so important.
Do you actually believe that if we walk away from the Middle East, that the terrorists will leave us alone, that the people in the extremist regime, let's just say, in Iran, is not serious when they call us the great Satan that will burn in the fire of the Islamic fury, that they'll just leave Israel alone and not destroy and push them into the sea?
I think they will, because they're scared to death of Israel. Israel, it would be more powerful if we weren't holding them back. I mean, nobody's going to touch Israel. They have 300 nuclear weapons, and we restrain them when they want to settle their disputes on their border. We restrain them when they want to have peace treaties or deal with the Arab League. So I would say they'd be much stronger.
So you're saying that we actually hurt Israel by being their friend? We should have no foreign aid to Israel at all. If Israel asked for our help, should we be involved?
Not unless the Congress authorizes, for war or something. But when you say no foreign aid, you say no foreign aid to Israel, and I say, we give foreign aid to the Arabs 3 times greater than Israel.
Oh, so no,
I'm not neutralizing anything. So, we really neutralize things much better. Israel's in better shape by no foreign aid to anybody.
Yeah.
And so it's not anti-Israel. It's just neutral. We treat Israel like a second-class citizen. You understand the issue at home when you treat people with welfareism. They become dependent on the state. Israel's dependent on us, for economic means. We send them these billions of dollars. And then they depend on us. They say, well, we don't like Iran. You go fight our battles. You bomb Iran for us. And they become dependent on us.
I think you're mistaken there. I think we're holding Israel back from bombing Iran. I don't think that.
Well, yeah, that is my point.
Okay.
If Iran wants to do it, if Iran wants to, Israel wants to do it, we hold them back. So they lose their sovereignty to us because they become dependent on us. And just like I don't like to lose our sovereignty to the United Nations, Israel has become subservient to us, and I think we should protect their sovereignty and respect their sovereignty as much as I want our sovereignty.